English Lovers by HoneyD. So that's the second part for the parenting and the idioms related to the parenting. We'll discuss little bit about what exactly that idiom can work for parenting. Like basically, we have already discussed in the first part, first of all, but that was on the Zoom. Um Now, the kind of live sessions right now I'm doing, like I've done that one of the session yesterday was for the friends and the idioms related to friends. But it won't be like that. I'm going to make the sessions not only for the idioms but also for other topics that are related in uh, like that are related to grammar, that are related to English language, and sometimes that are related to your life as well. So stick together with me or stay tuned with my channel for more of the videos, more of the live sessions on the topics that are related to your life, and we will discuss some of the important elements which are important to be ingrained in every child's life. Uh, then, as I mentioned that, like this particular session will be for the second part of the one that we have done that on parenting, the part one. Uh, we have discussed lots and lots of um, like around 40, around, yeah, 40 or 39, I guess we have already discussed the idioms that I'm talking about. So the next one we will talk about would be related to the parenting styles, like the way we need to take care of the kids, and depending upon that one, we are going to talk about each of the idiom accordingly. So the first one that we have on the card is like spare the road and spoil the child. Spare the road and spoil the child stands for something like it means that without discipline, children may grow up spoiled and unruly. If we are not going to teach them discipline, if we are not going to keep them in the decorum of life, and we are not teaching them accuracy through channelizing their energy in the right direction, then I think we're going to spoil our child. Basically, spare the road and spoil the child means that. Spare the road, that means if you're going to leave the stick, then you will spoil your child. It's like that. In authentic way, if I would have to say, then it would be meaning that. Otherwise, if we say that if we are leaving the discipline, if we are um, not strict with the kids, then we are going to spoil the children. So spare the road and spoil the child. That's all up to you. Like, for example, he believes in firm discipline because spare the road and spoil the child is something that he thinks gonna happen. So if you will spare the road and it is definite that you're gonna spoil the child. If you really want to teach discipline to your kids, you need to start it from the beginning itself. Once the time is lost, once the time has gone, because time and tide wait for none. So if that is gone, then you will not get another moment or another chance to improve your child. It's much better that you discipline your child on the right time, at the right time, by beginning at the early age. So spare the road and spoil the child. Without discipline, you may grow your child unruly and undisciplined. Okay, indisciplined. Next one is to play favorites. To play favorites means like taking the sides, obviously. When you prefer something, when you prefer someone over the other, that's what it means to play favorites. To show preferential treatment to one child over the other, which is very wrong, we should not do. Okay, parents should avoid playing favorites among the kids, among the generations, among the children. So parents should never do that. Not even the teachers, not even anybody else. Like we should not play favorites like that. We have our individual choices when it comes to being an outsider. If we are outsider, we can say that I can take the side of one child over the other. But most probably, whenever you see such a situation, even then, I would suggest you that you should avoid it because it's gonna create a kind of disharmony in the heart of the kid whom you are actually not giving the preference to. Making an equilibrium between the kids would be better in such a scenario when you face you have to when you face you have to take any preference. So do not give any kind of particular preference when it comes to kids. All the kids are important. So parents should avoid playing favorites among their children. Next is like oil and water. What does it stand for? Like oil and water. When like describing family members and the parents and the children who do not get along, like oil and water. Oil and water can never get mixed. So same way, um, like some people are there in the family, they never stick together. They don't like to see even the face of each other. So that's why for such people, we can use that. They are like oil and water. It would be much better if you're gonna give different tasks to like all of them or different tasks to both of them because they are like oil and water. They are never mixing up. So it would be clear that like whenever we are mixing oil into the water, the oil's color and oil's substantiality is totally visible, clearly visible, apparently visible on the surface itself. So the difference between them, the people who are like oil and water, will always be different from each other. So they are like oil and water, always arguing over everything. They will try to point out a topic or point out a certain element of life they will disagree upon every time. So there are people in your life and there are people in the family also that who are like oil and water most of the time. So we need to avoid getting into trouble or getting into argument with some people like that. But I would suggest that it is always good to be patient and listen to each and every detail of every single person that you are dealing with, that you're listening to. Since we know that listening is very important, that's why we have two ears, one mouth. Speaking is not that important. Listening to people is more important. You know. Then it comes to next one is nest egg. Egg is always usually by the bird would be kept in the nest. So nest egg would be savings set aside for the family or the children's welfare or children's future. So that is the nest egg. Okay. They have built a nice nest egg for their kids' education. That means nest egg would be a kind of saving that you are doing for your kids, for your family. So that means any of the idiom which is related to the family, we are talking about that. And then in this scenario, it's like this that mm, it's like this that nest egg would be nest egg would be the one like it'll be called as saving for your family. That's it. All the savings can be financial saving, can be any kind of other resource that you have saved for the family. That can be, savings which are actually set aside for the family's welfare. So that is nest egg. Remember that. So next, after this one is empty nest syndrome. Emptiness syndrome would be the feeling of sadness. Uh, syndrome would be the feeling of sadness or loss when the children grow up or leave home. So empty nest syndrome. It is empty separate word, nest separate, and syndrome. It's a kind of issue anyone can have, and when you're having the when you're having the feeling of sadness when your children are grown up and they have left the house and they are going somewhere else to actually make their career or they have moved out. Okay, or even after when um when they are grown up and they got married and they got separated, and that's where the parents starts feeling empty nest syndrome. Okay, because they live in the memory of the kids. They always prefer to go in the past and find out something good uh, that they have spent together, their good time that they have spent together. So that's the issue. That's the main problem in most of the families. People feel it's not about only parents, and it can be kids also. Sometimes the parents are living separately, parents are separated, and the same syndrome can be found in kids as well. Empty nest syndrome. Next is push comes to shove. Push comes to shove. Shove, shove, shove. Okay. When the situation becomes critical and the parents and the family will step in for the help. Like uh, when a gentle push becomes like you're shoving it, it's like that. So if the push comes to shove, they will support their child financially. That means if the things are going to become critical, if the things are going to get out of the hand from the kids or out of the hand of the kids, then the parents will play their part and they will come forward and will try to help them financially. So that is push comes to shove. Okay. If the push comes to shove, then where you can use that one. Push comes to shove, you can use when even when you are working at somewhere and at the workplace. He's that kind of leader who always help others when push comes to shove. Like that means when things become critical, the parents or the family or anyone else can be put into that family, because work family is a separate family. Like it's also the part of a family, you know. So it's not like our personal family, but it's a work family. So in case of work family, you can say that if the push comes to shove, he's the right person to come forward and help others in getting rid of the issue, getting rid of the problem. Okay. Then a stern talking to, a stern, 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 a stern talking to, talking to. A stern talking to. Talking to is with a hyphen, like it'll be like that. It'll be with a dash, sorry. It'll be with a dash. A serious scolding. It is Stern's talking to. Stern talking to. Uh, kind of chiding or can be reprimand for often given by parents. Yeah, you don't do this. This is not right for you. This is not right for your future. This is not right for him. This is not right for her. Something like that. So if something is there like that, then definitely like uh parents should avoid that. First of all, stern talking to, but it is required some in some situations when the kids are getting out of hand. There we need to have a stern talking to with the kids. Okay. After breaking curfew, he got a stern talking to from his dad. Like if you have done something bad or you have done something against the society or against the norms of the country or the norms of the province, then uh, definitely the parents are going to say that you haven't done that right. Okay. If you have done that, then you have to say sorry for that because that's not something that we expect from you. So there you are doing the stern talking. Stern talking to the kids is important because kids will make their own culture, which sometimes won't be suitable for them. So that's how it is. Mm, mm, that's the main thing that where it works like uh, when the parents are when the kids are indisciplined, the parents are handling the indisciplined kids. So then thereafter there is leave the nest. Obviously, leaving the nest means leaving the home. So when the children grow up and they leave the home and they move out their parents' home, then there we can use this leave the nest. It means it's hard for the parents when their children finally leave the nest. So leave the nest. We have basically actually aligned our all those idioms to the nest, and that this nest is actually our home. So whatsoever we have done, firstly we did something about empty nest syndrome. Then we did something about leave the nest. Then we have discussed the same kind of stuff. Nest egg also. Three of them are related to nest here. Then thereafter, after dealing with the parenting style, we will talk about idioms related to the family bonds, family relations. Okay, when we say family comes first, that is also kind of uh, idiomatic phrase. It's an idiomatic phrase. Whenever we think that nothing comes before it, nothing comes before our family, there we say that family comes first. And we believe that prioritizing family above all is more important than anything else in the world. So she quit her job to take care of the parents or take care of her sick mother, sick father, whomsoever it is, because she believes that family comes first, or she authentically believes that family comes first. Now, next one is a house divided cannot stand. If the members in the family, if the members in a family are not united, definitely the family is going to fall apart. The things will fall apart. Uh, that's why house should never be divided, because a house divided cannot stand. It will never stand. So they need to resolve their differences, because a house divided never stand or cannot stand. Maybe there would be scenarios when the families may retain back, or they come back, but the things once are divided will definitely keep on teasing you one or the other day, and once the house is divided, the house cannot stand. Then make yourself at home. It's said by many of them, many of our friends, many of our family members, or our relatives. Like when we are visiting them, not quite often, but when you're going after a year or two, when you're visiting your family members or your relatives, there they say that, like, this is your room, make yourself at home now. Like, once you are settled, let us know that we will prepare some food for you, or we will go somewhere to have lunch, brunch, something like that. Okay, or dinner. It depends upon them. So make yourself at home means like when you are making yourself to be feeling at exactly like home. So then there is another one that we have already done, that is two peas in a pod. Two peas in a pod, that means family members who are very similar and they're close to each other. We have already discussed about that in the previous session. Two peas in the pod means which are in one pod, and there are two of the peas of the same pod. That means they have the similar features, similar, not features, I would say characteristics, or the kind of qualities and the values that they have. They are basically the same. So when those are same, then you can say that they are the two peas in the pod. So when you're gonna say it for two persons, definitely it will be applicable only then. Um, like it looks good when we are using them for comparing things, or we are trying to talk about the similarity between the two personalities. Then we can say that, like, they are like the two peas in a pod. Most of the qualities are matching, and most of the activities that they do, they take what we say, opinion of each other, because they believe they are the two peas in the pod. So next one is, now, to come from a broken home. To come from a broken home means, like, which is already obviously, mm, in a family, if the parents are divorced or separated. So you can say that, for example, if if somebody's having some kind of family like that, the parents are divorced or separated, then you can say that I come from a broken home, where, like, like my father is living somewhere and my mother is living somewhere, and they're separated. So you can say that it's a broken home. Obviously, home is all about parents and kids. If the kids are separated, that's also broken home. So as an apt example, I would say she's very resilient despite coming from a broken home. There are kids which are good examples, even after being broken from the broken home, they are still resilient, they are still sparkling. Their way of living the life still is positive sometimes. There are kids like that. Then thereafter, we have in the family way. In the family way, in the way the family, like in the family way means a polite way of saying someone is pregnant. Okay. When you want to say somebody is pregnant, instead of saying that she is pregnant, you can say that in the family way. She's in the family way, and you due in for a few months. It's a beautiful one to say, because instead of simply saying that she's pregnant or she's conceiving or she's having a baby or that she's going to have the baby, instead of saying that, you can simply say that she's in the family way. Okay, she's in the family way. So that's good one. Now, the last one, which is actually kind of patriarchal, but still it is like that. Father knows best. Father knows best means a light-hearted phrase to emphasize the father's wisdom and authority in the family. So when you say father knows best, it can be a kind of crackling laughter in the family whenever the family's sitting together and they're discussing something and the father is not heard, then the father can say to the whole family, father knows best. We know that. So in a funny way also, it can be used. Now, the next thing is like the questions which are related to these kind of idioms or where you can use these idioms. Can you describe someone in your family who has had a significant influence on you? So when we say somebody has a significant influence on me, then we can say that why that person will have that significant influence on me. Then, um, when you are describing these points, in between the points, you can use the kind of idioms which we have discussed already. Okay. Um, so all these two peas in the pod or something like family comes first and all those one which we have already done. Okay. We should like like playing the favorites and all that. That's also not to be done, like oil and water or something like that to be used. Okay, you can describe someone in the family who has significant influence on you. So for the negative kind of idioms, you can use them in the adverse way. Like for example, if we have to use like oil and water in this situation. So I would like to talk about my father who never let anybody to live like oil and water. Um, it looks like every member is like all the peas in one pod. So we are trying to reform the kind of idioms that we have already done accordingly requirement. So that's the way that the things can be done, or that's the way that things can be modified for our own purpose. So, whatsoever questions will come, whatsoever questions will be asked. For example, discussion questions are there. Some people say like father, like son. And do you agree to the statement why or why not? You can have a debate on that. You can have a debate on like father, like son. Is it possible that the father, like the way the father is, the way the son is? So you can talk about that one in many ways. You can list down the things which father has and the kids will have the similar qualities or the son will have the similar qualities. And sometimes we can disagree to this point to a certain extent, or we can say that we have to review our point of view for actually coming to the conclusion that um, all the all the qualities that the son gets is always like from father. Some of the qualities are also from the mother. So if we'll talk about being very gentle or being very kind, sometimes or being very um, adorable in nature, that comes from the mother. And even when it comes to showing affection also, it comes from the mother. But when it comes to father, father is little bit of reserved by nature, usually considered to be reserved by nature. They're not that expressive as compared to the female. counterpart. So that's why we say that the fathers usually knows the best. So that's why, because they're more intellectual, more towards intellectual term. Uh, that's why they control their emotions more of the time, not to express themselves, not create the discipline, or have the stern talking to the kids. Usually is given by the father. Um, that's how it is. We need to use these idioms every now and then. So, debatable topic I'm giving you when I'm going now. Um, Now you have to actually think about this one. Like, spare the rod and spoil the child. Is discipline essential for good parenting? That's your question, and that's your way of expressing yourself. If you're gonna comment in my comment box, and there I will see that whatever your answers would be, and I would consider that you are liking my videos and my live sessions. If I'm getting comments as well as your contribution into that, because this YouTube channel is not only mine, it's yours too. It's of the whole family, like who wants to learn English. For now, I have to say bye-bye, but stay tuned with my channel and subscribe to the channel for getting the updates of the new videos, and tell it to your friends also to join in. Thank you very much for that time being. Thank you.